up, everyone? This is Ricardo Santiago, aka Stylist Ricardo Santiago on Instagram, and
I'm Rachel Stefanik. My Instagram is Hair Painted with Love, and today we're here in Miami with Colortrak, and we're going to be doing a really fun transformation on our model Vanessa.
So Vanessa is a natural brunette, and she said she wanted to go blonde, right? You sure? Okay, there's no going back. So we're going to take her from this deep natural brunette, there's no color in her hair, and we're going to jazz it up and give her a sharp little bob and also take her up to a really nice bright blonde. To do that, Rachel, what tools are we going to use?
The products we're going to be using on her hair today to achieve this beautiful blonde is these embossed foils by Colortrak, of course, and our new Galaxy collection. My favorite are these extra wide brushes. They seriously will cut our application time in half. So those are our two top products that we're going to be using today from Colortrak.
And as you can see, I had to show the suction on these things is amazing. Like once you press it down, you can literally take your entire tray with you. All right, so at this point, we're gonna go ahead and mix up our products. I'm gonna chop her hair first because there's no point in lightening all of this if it's gonna be gone. So we're gonna go through that. Rachel, if you don't mind, we'll get the products mixed up and then we're gonna get right to it. Hey guys, so we came back from a quick rough chop to get us started. We also pre-treated her hair with a bond protector, so that way we're gonna be ready to go once we put our lighteners on. So to start, we have mixed a 10 volume in our lighter Galaxy bowl, and in our darker Galaxy bowl we have 20 volume. And then Rachel, we are staggering them as we work through, right?
Yeah, so we are going to start at her root with a 10 volume going into 20 volume on her mids and ends. And as we move around the head, we are going to up the developer a little bit just so we don't have to worry about section rinses, and it will all be done at the same time.
All right, and since we're going to stagger that out, I'm going to go ahead and just get the back quadrants clipped out of the way because we want to try to keep it as neat as possible and not overlap into the back since we're going to be staggering our developers. So without anything else, Rachel, you're already gloved up. I'm going to get gloved up and we'll start slanging some lightener over here.
So we're going to use the wide brushes for her mids and ends. That'll make it super easy to saturate and much quicker.
And then the smaller ones at the root so we could be a little bit more accurate when we're applying at that root.
And again, these are from the new Galaxy collection, which they're so pretty and sparkly.
It's an easy sell.
Easy sell. Anything
pretty and sparkly.
Yeah, anything glittery. Okay, so starting with the 10 volume.
I think we should toast. You want toast?
Toast.
Toast. Oh, that got no, I'm kidding.
It's always much better when you can tag team a color like this.
Yeah, because these things take a little while. So if we were doing this by ourselves, Lord knows, it could be a minute before we were done.
We would have to start with even lower developer, so.
Or you have to do the stop and wash. Nobody wants to stop and wash.
Yeah. So we are taking really tiny subsections, bringing her root, the lightener on her root down probably like an inch. And once we get all the root applied up here, then we will start pulling it through her ends. But tiny sections are key when you're doing any sort of blonding work.
Yeah, if you go too thick, then you risk saturation issues, which we call them holidays or little holes in the hair where it's just not as blonde, doesn't lift as well. And also we started with kind of hitting that perimeter really well. And that's important too because I see way too often when someone goes with a drastic transformation like this and they go to a really light blonde, or if their base is dark like Vanessa's is, then they end up with like a dark spot around the face, and that's just, it's a really quick, easy tell that it wasn't saturated well around the perimeter. But
I find it also tends to dry out more around the hairline, so making sure it's saturated the whole time and not drying out is really necessary. So processing time when you're doing blonding honestly is not the same for every single client. So really when I'm doing blonding, I don't really have a processing time. I am watching how the hair is lifting, checking the strength of the hair, making sure nothing is happening.
And the same applies when you're doing it in a foil or on scalp or open air, any of those situations. lightning in general does not respond the same way. It's not like a demi or semi-permanent or a permanent color that's timed and you know exactly when it's done. This stuff you just kind of have to go by visually and just see if it's done before you take it off. And then even if you think, then check it again.
Okay, so we just applied her root in the front, and now we are pulling through her mids and ends with a 20 volume and lightener. And between each section, the sections are about 1/2 inch sections, and the foil separates each section. It gives a little bit of heat, especially with dark hair. Foils are really important.
You need something that's going to help to trap that heat in, conduct a little bit more, and that's going to give you more lift.
And these foils are really nice because they're really thick, super easy to use, they don't rip all the time.
And again, we want to work as fast as we can because she is actually already starting to lift pretty nicely. So that's a good sign for us, but we want to make sure that we're efficient and quick at the same time. The way that we're applying, we're working more in like a side-to-side motion, and that's kind of important when you're trying to get that really good saturation, because a lot of times people go in like you're lightening on a foil and just doing it this way.
Yeah,
and that's not going to give you that.
Saturate it. I usually am working the color with my fingers. You also want to make sure that the lightener isn't too thick, because then it'll dry out, you end up getting weird splotchy spots. Now we're starting the back, and same thing.
Yep.
Just hire developers. Now we've moved up to 20 on her root, 30 on her ends in the back.
Yeah. All right, so we just finished applying the last foils here, and we're gonna let this process and keep a close eye on it, but about how long do you think we should let it go?
I think usually with lightener, when we're trying to get it this blonde, we'll leave it on for about 30-45 minutes, but keep checking it, keep checking the strength of her hair, making sure everything is good.
Yeah, and check on her comfort as well, make sure that she's not uncomfortable in any way. Once it's all done, then we're gonna wash it all out. We'll check for any imbalances, make sure that it's perfectly even, and then we're gonna tone it, and we'll kind of wrap it all up from that, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
So we just finished the bleaching part. We had pulled out all the foils, shampoo, and now she has a nice treatment on. And we are gonna do a toner after this. And Ricardo's gonna tell you a little bit about how we're gonna tone her.
Yeah, so the second most important part about when you're doing like a full lightning application transformation like this is identifying what kind of tone you're gonna go with. So for that, we're gonna check her skin tone, we're gonna look at her eye color and really try to figure out if she should be a warmer blonde or a cooler blonde. And then from there, then we'll apply, same as we did before, roots to ends, and she'll be good to go.
Okay, we're back. We just finished our model, and as you guys saw before, we had lifted her. Her roots were about a level 10, and her mids and ends got to about a 9.
We love the idea of like a really light, cool blonde. So we filled her first. We actually were trying to figure out which route to take with that toner. We decided to take both the warm and the cool route. So we took the warm tone and filled her with level 8 gold, and that helped to redeposit some of the pigment into her hair. And then we balanced her out to create more of this honey beige by adding some more ash tones into it and really kind of balanced it out, which neutralized it a lot and helped to really work with her skin tone and her eye color a lot more than what we were lifted to originally. And so we just went back through, refined the haircut nicely. Before it was just a quick rough chop, getting all the excess length off so we didn't waste extra time or product. Now we went through and I added some layers and some texture, and she's got some great movement in here. Definitely something that she can wear straight, curly, or with her natural wave, and it'll really work well for her with this color as well. So I think it came out great, Rach.
Yeah, I mean, it's so even. I'm just so happy with the results, and I really hope you guys enjoyed watching our whole process.
All right, so make sure if you want to see the final look, you can check that out on Colortrak.com and also on our social media channels. Mine is at Stylist Ricardo Santiago.
And mine is at Hair Painted with Love.
And then also make sure that you're following at Colortrak and you'll see her final look as well as all the other models from this shoot that we've been working on. It's going to be amazing, so make sure you tune in. Thanks.
Thank you.